like fire.
So we're here. We've done it.
I can't.
This is it. I can't believe it.
Oh my god.
We haven't rehearsed this or anything, so literally what you see is what you get. Anything could happen. So welcome to The Power of Dog, our first ever episode. We're both really nervous. Tron isn't.
I don't care.
And actually, every time we've been sorting things out and putting things together, he has never sat here on the sofa. So you know, this is the real thing, don't you, lad? Hey? Is this your debut?
On
I know you did your debut on
on the commercial.
the commercial, didn't you?
Which will be up later.
Right, so The Power of Dog, what's it all about? How did it start? How did it start?
It was
So, it's
You.
been about 3 years.
you.
I wrote a TV concept for a show called The Power of Dog. Initially, it was to be 5 one-hour episodes, and it was to cover ADHD, special needs, the elderly, suicide, mental health issues, homelessness and PTSD. And it was put into groups, and because people have certain perceptions of what things affect different people.
For example, like ADHD, people think it's a young person thing, but I know people in their 80s with ADHD.
Yeah. So it was kind of turning it on its head,
Yes.
wasn't it? And the whole idea was that whoever was featured in the show that week, we would match them with a dog. We'd go through rigorous testing, and we would match them with the perfect dog, put them together, introduce them to each other, and just watch the power of dog unfold.
How it changed their lives.
Everybody knows how special the dogs are. That goes without a doubt. However, looking into it and studying them, I've worked with dogs for 14 years now, and they have some kind of power unknown to us, or one that we can't get our heads around.
Yeah.
And they communicate to each other without speaking. You know, yes, they bark and they use body language, but that's nothing compared to when they're communicating with each other. When you watch dogs together, you see that going on. You just can't tap into it. And they just have this, they're like from another world, like a transient? No. What's it called? What's that word? This is where the neurodivergence kicks in, because we've both got ADHD. Mine's probably a lot worse than Dean's.
So if I just go silent for a period of time, it's because I'm trying to think of something.
Well, I've got a million things going through my head. They're from a higher realm, let's put it that way. They're from a higher realm, and they're so wise. They've been here for thousands of years, and yes, you could argue so of humans. However, these gorgeous bundles of fur have this special power of
Bringing out the best in everybody.
everybody. And do you know what? The love they give is unconditional. That's the main thing. It's unconditional love. And it's selfless. They don't hold grudges. They're not spiteful. And they're just amazing.
And that's the true power of dog.
So that was the TV premise. Then years and years ago, probably about 9 years ago, I wrote a TV concept, and it was called The Social Experiment. The idea was to have a house, a big house, Big Brother style, but not voyeuristic in that sense. There would be 10 young adults. They could be from all walks of life, homelessness, attempted suicide, young offenders, ex-prisoners, careleavers, and we would put 10 of them in the house. And again, we would match 10 dogs in advance. And on day one, it would be a live feed, and we would introduce each young adult to the dog that they were going to be living with in the house. Now, the whole idea was that because these gorgeous boys have this, gorgeous boys and girls, have this special thing about them, I know, because of my experience with my dog, the unconditional love is the one that breaks down the wall and breaks down the barrier.
Of course, absolutely.
It's you can get to the underneath. You can get to the root of
Get to the root of the
what's
problem.
troubling them.
The root of the problem, and people rely on their dogs for so much more than just, I don't know, people say that they have a working dog, for example. Even working dogs, they're loved so much by their owners because there's a connection.
Sorry, I can't believe he's staring at me the whole time. Hey, you know what's going on, don't you? Yes. So that was the idea, and they'd be in this house together, and you would see unfold. It would have a live feed, 24/7. What would unfold, how it would unfold, the anger coming out, the thrashing, all of them things, because you have to go through the anger,
Of course.
the pain that's caused the anger, to get to the root of the problem. And the whole idea was, I just wanted 10 young adults to feel unconditional love for the first time ever, and for that to be captured on camera. And that was it. I've lost my trail of thought now.
Yeah, Tom's gone.
And that was it. So this show has just been born from them 2 TV concepts. And rather than trying to get a show commission that, you're told it's too big, the budget's too big, it would take too much crew. I understand all them things, and it does come down to finance at the end of the day. However, for me, it's not about finance. It's about still getting that message out. So how do you do that when you haven't got the control to do it?
We decided to take control, so this is what we're doing.
Dean and I met 3 years ago at a service station when I was walking backwards on my phone, I don't know to who, carrying myself on in my own little world as I do, and walked backwards and
Crushed my coffee cup and spilt it all down my front
a
of my
full
chest.
black coffee right down him. And I remember you were really cocky. Because I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. What was it you said?
It's okay, you can buy me a new one now, aren't you?
Yeah, but you didn't say it as nice as that. You better get me a new one then, aren't you? And I was like, that? Oh.
Well, to be fair, you're massive and you just literally walked backwards into me.
I know.
I'm not looking where you was going.
And that is literally how we met. And yeah, we just instantly became best friends and connected and twin flames and just got each other, didn't we?
Absolutely.
To the point where I'd moved into a new house in the April, you moved in the August,
Yep.
and we opened a daycare together.
In October.
In the October. That's how quickly it was. And the daycare, we decided 2 weeks before. I'd run a daycare before. I was doing private home visits, doing my TV work, and it just made sense. And it's the best thing we ever did.
Yeah,
it really
absolutely,
is.
Absolutely.
3 years on, here we are now presenting a show that we've created and put together. And
From your 2 shows that you wrote.
this picture at the back there, that's Dean's photography. That's an example of his photography. It's stunning. It's amazing what you see
Thank you.
through a lens, and you capture and put it on a photograph, and I see what you saw. Does that make sense? So I picked up on that, obviously, and I thought, well, if you can do that, you can do videoing and editing and lighting and sound and...
Oh, of course, because...
Yeah.
Of course I can.
Because I wouldn't have a clue how to do any of that, to be honest, and I'm not making it up. I literally wouldn't.
Let's be honest, I didn't have a clue how to do that until about... Oh, when did we start filming?
We've been filming The Power of Dog, the soap, but that's an ongoing thing, and that will be aired from January, something to look forward to.
But it's about 7 weeks, isn't it?
7 weeks.
So 7 weeks, I didn't know how to film anything on my camera. I didn't have the first clue.
There's been lots of mistakes.
Oh, lots of mistakes.
We've filmed things. We were going to do... we had the music video for tonight, but that's going to be on next week's episode, so it's something to look forward to next Friday. But literally, we were filming this big scene with a group, and the rain started pouring down. We're outside. We were in 80s stuff.
And someone forgot to press the camera to record.
And we're laughing now, but at the time...
I was devastated.
But you know what? You have to move on. You have to move on.
Devastated.
So, for those of you who've seen the synopsis, it's self-explanatory what the show is, who we are. We're two neurodivergents, we're dog lovers, we are passionate about helping people.
Yep.
And
This is all about.
that is literally what it's all about. Tron joined us in March, didn't you? April, May, June, July, August, September. 6 months.
Aww.
Yes. He came all the way from Thailand, from a centre that I've done work there and
Trained volunteers.
trained the volunteers over there. So I've visited it. It's a big medical centre. Dogs go there for quarantine, which is amazing because they get to spend 6 months not locked up and isolated. They get to spend time interacting with each other, going out on walks. They go to the beach. They go for a swim most days, which is amazing in Thailand. Wouldn't be amazing here, would it?
No.
And it came all the way from Thailand. They come with a carer. They each allocated a carer. They come on the flight. They get crate trained before they come, so it's not traumatic for them. And you have come so calm, haven't you? Mm. But that's from your time living with the monks.
Yeah.
He knows we're telling his story.
I know he does.
Are you pausing for the camera? Right? So today's episode is... Oh, what can you hear?
Something outside.
It's about careleavers. It's about the care system, basically. Something that I was in from 6 weeks old to 18. In foster care until I was 14, and then residential from 14.
You did in residential care before that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I was there when I was...
Yeah.
I went there when I was 11.
Yep.
For, I think it was about 3 months. And, yeah.
Yeah. Lots of things.
Lots of things. And even just doing the shows messed my head up a bit because it's not that going over things, it's just you forget lots of things. And when you're trying to
Put things together.
compress it all together, it's quite a lot.
It's huge amounts.
But we are on a mission. We are in the process. Well, we've already started the Leontowers Careleavers Foundation, which is our vision is for careleavers to have somewhere to go when that cliff edge comes upon them at some of 16 in residential care, like I was, or 18.
Yeah, so the cliff edge is generally 18 with careleavers, and what happens is, at 18 years old, they stop getting help, and they literally just get put out into the world at 18 years old and expected to live a normal life, even though they've been institutionalised for most of their life. In some sense, since they were a baby.
Yeah.
And I've never been in care myself, but I just find it...
How old were you when you...
disgusting.
Were you 18 when you left home? When you got your own place?
I was 16 or 17.
17. But through your own choice?
Yeah, through my own choice, yeah.
And even if you do it and you think, oh, shit, I've made a mistake there, I want to go back home, you knew you always had a home to go back to.
Yeah, I mean, I was... Some people say it's lucky, but I literally left school on Friday and I was in work on a Monday. I'd already got my job lined up when I left school. So when I left school, qualifications and things weren't a massive thing, you know. So I walked straight into a job, and I was lucky enough to be earning a reasonable wage. But then when I moved out, even me, I was... It's horrendous. I mean...
You enjoyed it to start with.
Of course you enjoyed it to start with. I mean,
when you're going out and you're like, wait, I haven't got anyone telling us what to do.
17 years old, I was having a house party virtually every day. And then the realisation that I couldn't actually function and get to work.
Yeah.
And then I had bills to pay, and then I couldn't even cook something because I didn't even have a tin opener. You know what I mean?
Yeah, your mum's such a good cook.
Yeah, I know, but it's always been in the house, so you just assume that it's there.
Yeah.
And
too easy. That's what it was.
But then my support from my parents will never ever stop because, I mean, even now I could ring my mum up and just ask for some, and do you know what I mean? Within reason, and she'll give me it.
Yeah.
And I'm 42. But that cliff edge, they don't have it, and they just...
It's literally, it's hard to explain. Imagine, you can't imagine it if you have, but it's literally having nobody.
I know.
Like, not a lifelong friend because you've moved from home to home. You don't have that that bond of a school friend relationship. You know, like people have friends from primary school and secondary school. Like for me, I did the whole of primary school. And even during the whole of primary school, you know, I think back and I have good memories about it, but I was completely conditioned. I went to school, I lived my life, and then I went home and went back into that prison. And when you look back and I look at pictures of Christmases and things like that, I had the best Christmases ever.
Like, we'll get back onto this later in the show, I think, because it's a really big thing about what happened to you, and it weren't just in care for you weren't just you wasn't just in care. There was more things that happened to you. So we'll talk about that a bit later, I think. But I think we should move on to Dougie Stringer. So the whole point of this was we met with Dougie Stringer, who has a company called Skills to Thrive.
Well remembered. I'm glad you did that because in my head I'm thinking path to independence. Skills to Thrive.
Skills to Thrive.
Yeah, it's just done a rebranding, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Which looks great, by the way.
Fantastic.
Dougie Stringer. I've done it. Too much Jerry Springer as a teenager. Dougie Stringer is an amazing man.
Incredible.
He's
careleaver
himself, suffered massive trauma, gone through horrendous things, and I've got so much respect for him. And the weird thing is, like, all of these connections happened through LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I remember going on LinkedIn a couple of years ago, about 10 years ago, with my first business, and I thought, this isn't for me. It's full of academics and stuff.
Funny.
And I'm not saying Dougie isn't an academic, because he absolutely is.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I just was looking at it the wrong way, and that's a trigger for me, because I think businessy people and LinkedIn was all about professionalism, academia, and all that kind of thing. Even though I've got qualifications myself, you carry that stigma.
Of course.
And it stopped me from using LinkedIn. And then when I was looking for production companies to work with, and production companies I'd worked with in the past, I was using it for that, really. And weirdly, all of my connections are still there from TV and production companies and the media. However, like literally overnight, it just switched to amazing people, amazing companies, the charity Become, NASAP, Janelle at NASAP, we'll talk about her a bit later, I'm not going to give her too much airtime. She knows I know she's amazing, she's brilliant. And it's just opened up this world that was always there, that I absolutely belong to, have been born into. And it's just fascinating, and that's how all this has come about in like a short space of time.
Really short space of time.
We'd always planned to have some kind of sanctuary to help people, but could never have imagined we've got as far as we have in such a short space of time.
It's incredible.
And yet I say that, I specifically remember I was 9 years old, sitting on my bedroom floor listening to, it was Band-Aid, the first ever one, for people that can remember that. And Band-Aid was on that Christmas, and I had a tape, was it 90-minute tapes it used to be? A cassette, you used to be able, I can't even remember how you used to do it, but you used to be able to record off Top of the Pops onto the tape recorder. So you'd have the sound, but not the video, obviously. Yes.
Why are you barking
Top
at
of
the
the Pops.
You're barking at the lights.
And I remember I loved Madonna's Borderline. That was the song of the time. And I literally did a full side tape of that just on repeat. And I listened to the whole thing. Then I turned it over, and on the other side was Chain Reaction, Diana Ross. I was going to say Donna Summer. And I can remember it like it was yesterday. And I was sat there, and it wasn't anger, it was frustration. I'd seen this thing on TV, I don't even know what it was, and somebody had a car made and it was diamond encrusted.
Yeah.
And it repulsed me that had been on, and then Band-Aid are performing On Top of the Pops, the Christmas song for Ethiopia, and all them pictures. And at 9 years old, I was switched on to that, and I just thought, so if I become a pop singer or on telly, and again going back, 1980, no, you were born in 82.
Oh yeah.
75, 1984, it wasn't a big thing to be, there wasn't this whole celebrity thing. It wasn't,
No.
I want to be a celebrity, because it wasn't a celebrity status thing. It was just people on TV and pop singers, they weren't obtainable. You couldn't have access to them. They were just what's on TV. At no point would you be interacting with anyone like that, would you?
No.
Not back then, you didn't.
No. Oh God, no.
So it wasn't even a thing. So it's completely different now with access to social media and all the rest of it. So it wasn't a thing. So at 9 years old in 1984, to have this mission, this drive to become this public figure, to use as a platform to help as many people as possible. I didn't even know what people I was going to focus on. All I knew was I wanted to help.
Now you've done it.
Yeah, and like, this is just the start. Even with all the stuff we've already done, this for me is like, this is like a stamp in time that will always be there. And that's why I've been so nervous about it. And having presented live in front of 4 million people.
I think I feel I've never presented to people.
I know, yes, actually. It's all me. Dina's never actually presented, ever. How cool is that, though? The first time you've presented, it's your own show.
I know.
It's brilliant. I love it. So, yeah, the message is, if you've got a dream, just follow it. And I know it might seem impossible, but make the impossible possible. And it might not be in the way... What are you growling at now? Is it because I'm talking too much and you're telling me to move on? Yes.
It's the reflections.
So, is that still recording, by the way?
Yes.
Because it has a shut off. We are going to go to Dougie Stringer's.
Yes. Dougie Stringer's interview over in Manchester.
And the company is...
Skills to Thrive.
I love it. Skills to Thrive. Right, enjoy. Dougie Stringer, Skills to Thrive. Our first ever interview, and the first ever interview we did. Here it is. So today we're here with Dougie Stringer from Skills to Thrive. Dougie, lovely to meet you.
Pleasure.
Gorgeous backdrop here.
Oh, it's lovely, isn't it?
So, tell me about what you do.
Yeah, so I'm a qualified social worker. So I spent around 10 years working as a personal advisor and leading care team and a social worker.
Yeah.
During that time, I was finding that a lot of young people do struggle with navigating the care system.
You say young people, what kind of age are you talking?
So predominantly I was working with young people 16 to 25.
Okay.
Sometimes a little bit younger as a social worker. But yeah, predominantly most 16. I was working with them at 16, 17, then beyond 18 to support them in.
And what did you find was the most important thing for them? What did you find was missing? What was the gap there?
I think there's loads of gaps. That cliff edge is a huge thing. So, at 16, 17, a lot of young people have a lot of support, whether that's with foster families, whether that's in supported accommodation, with social work, mental health services. At 18, it almost stops overnight. Yeah. You do get a personal advisor, leading care worker, but the problem is they only check in sometimes once every 8 weeks. Yeah. And if you're really unconfident with managing your finances, with managing your home, managing life.
Yeah, which I have to say, like being a careleaver, so I lived at 16 in residential, and like you said, social services are involved to 18, but I've probably got 3 or 4 visits during them 2 years, and it was things like finances, cooking, budgeting, all of them things, and also staying away from vulnerable situations that you kind of put into.
Yeah, 100%. And some organisations are really good, but some, like you say, they don't really match that well. And you know, some young people gravitate towards things that as professionals, like, well, that's probably not going to be quite good for you.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's a very difficult job as a social worker having, or a personal advisor, having so many young people to work with, and yet not much time to be able to do that really needed work. So yeah, it's a...
How many would you have had? What's the typical amount of young people that you would have as a case file? You say that, you know, you'd be looking after so many. What is the average?
I don't know the averages across the UK, but where we were, it was typical to have, say, 25 young people. That said,
Quite a lot.
That said, I was speaking to someone in one of the Greater Manchester services not long back, and he said he had 53 young people.
53?
How can you do that sort of work that's needed?
And with every will in the world, that person would want to make sure that every single one of them was seen, dealt with, was supported, but in reality, even if you had 10 young people to look after, that is a lot. I'm just thinking of me as a young person. I probably needed 10 people just for myself.
Exactly, and often you are, just the nature of the job, you're firefighting quite often. And there's a lot of young people that go under the radar. Even the ones, Leon, that go to university, you think, oh, they're doing really well.
And they're the ones that are struggling.
Exactly, and they're the quiet ones that are really struggling, or they're doing okay, but there's still gaps with being able to manage different things, and they've not got a family network. So what are they doing? And often that's where we see the really shocking statistics. Like, say, for example, careleavers make up 25% of the homeless population. Same with the prison population. 5 times more likely to end their own life. So clearly, there's a lot more. When I was working in that service at 1625, there's a lot more that can be done, and that's where I created that digital platform to support young people.
So tell me about this digital platform. What is it? How do people access it? How does it work?
Okay, so it's a digital platform essentially delivered. A lot of it is video content, and then we've got like live skills. I guess underneath the videos you've got a real toolbox to find resources. When I've sat with PAs before and social workers, don't always know what's out there. Just bringing that together, so we've got 2 minutes video
everybody
content.
can look at the same thing and they can see what services are available. Because like you say, depending on the area you're in, depending on what you specialise in, you might not know, but it's been impossible to know about all the services that are available.
100%.
So you kind of put them all into this toolbox.
So predominantly it's a 2-minute video, because as you know, TikTok's huge, Instagram's huge. Young people aren't going to sit there and look at reams of text and workbooks. They're not going to do that. So you want quick advice, quick support by someone that's experienced the same, or not the same, but similar situations. So if they know that you've been in care and experienced similar sort of stuff.
It's about relatability, isn't it?
100%. Yeah, exactly.
And you were in care yourself. What age were you in care?
So I 11, so it was year 7. I went into care. Up until I left care, so at that time, I think it's similar to you, isn't it? We left at 16.
Which isn't any age. Even at 20, to be honest, I was a dad of 2 by 20. Even at 20, you haven't got the life skills to survive. No. Which is why what you're doing is incredible work, because what I like about it is you don't have a cut-off. So it's 16 plus. Is that right? 16 plus, and ultimately, if an organisation, a local authority, a foster agency, or supported accommodation wanted to support in terms of commission us till 30, 40, that's fine. That's brilliant. We obviously do rely on the local authorities or organisations to commission that, because we can't really expect the young people to pay for it themselves. So that's where we do rely on that, and so we don't have an upper age at all. And to be fair, them supporting that is a small price to pay compared to the resources that are used for somebody who hasn't got that support, hasn't got that backup and that toolbox behind them. Like you say, the prison, we do a lot of work with the prisons, and a lot of it is, it's the breakdown of the adulthood. It's just not having the support network there.
No, absolutely.
Like yourself, myself, it's not having the family structure, the foundations. Going into care is a scary enough thing as it is, but if you haven't got any family members or anything like that, who do you turn to? Exactly
that, and often it's the people around you that are probably not to good in some context. So I've sat with young people before, and they've associating with gangs and different things, and I'm speaking to them, and there's a common theme that they're actually making him feel special. They're actually asking about his mum and dad. They're actually asking about him personally, and he feels that they care. And then
manipulation.
Absolutely, it's grooming.
Vulnerability.
And it's only after so long of working with that young person you sort of go, okay, he's asking me to take these packages, and it's probably not going to be.
But when you're in it, you don't realise it. You know, I went through all that myself. It's like you say, they make you feel like you belong. It's belonging, isn't it?
Of course,
really,
100%. Yeah, everyone needs that belonging, and it's almost, you know, my job at the time and still now is to try and encourage young people to find that sense of belonging, whether it's work. You know, as you know, I'm heavily involved in the gym and Thai boxing, different things. So that's my sense of belonging, and you know, the work I do now, to be fair, it is as well. But you know, at 16, where, like I say, where do you find that sense of belonging? Often, if you're in a chaotic environment, well, it's not going to be something that you know, and that's where actually I feel that people on ground, so foster carers and supported accommodation providers and social workers as well, we've got a duty to try and steer young people into them places that they're going to find that sense of belonging.
Because a lot of, when you leave care, a lot of the places you get sent to, like the place I was at, was bedsit land. It was full of heroin, it was full of shoplifting, it was full of everything, and you're literally put into the centre of it. I didn't even know them parts existed. And at 16, now you're independent, you can come and go when you please, you haven't got anybody watching over you, looking after you, and literally that's where people go off the rails.
100%.
Like the children's home I was in, there was 8 of us in a specific group for 1 year, 6 of them are dead. And they were dead, I'm 50 now, they were dead by mid-20s. And you just look at it and you're like, that's just a group of people I knew. How many other people?
Absolutely. Well, I think the stats, you know, them shocking stats before highlights how bad it can be, and you know, there's a lot of young people that struggle and not in them stats. You know, there's a lot of young people having dealt with different things, past trauma, adverse child experiences, and so you know, I think that when you asked before about what the problems are, I think there's a lot of problems. I don't want to say that there's no hope. There is hope, and there's a lot of good people.
There's always hope,
of course,
but it needs more resources thrown at it. Because like you say, it all ties in together. You've got the prison service, you've got NHS service, all of these things for psychiatric treatment. If more was chucked into that and spread out amongst, like what you do basically, it's all kind of gathered together in one place.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's like a holistic way of dealing with situations.
100%, and I think, you know, a prime example of, you mentioned then about different services and not linking up. Well, where I was in Cheshire, you know, if someone was taking drugs and had mental health challenges, it was almost like, well, you've got to stop one. So for example, they'll say, you know, your drug and alcohol use is making your mental health bad, but then the mental health service say, well, no, you sort of, because you're taking your drugs, so
you need to deal with that company. And it's whereas if it was all put together like what you do basically.
And this is it. And you know, I think often we rely, or you know, as workers, we go, right, well, we'll sign you up to a GP, for example, and that's the end of the story. But the GP might be very good at prescribing medication, or they might be very good at you know, like biology, and they are probably good at different mental health as well. But there's a lot we can do as young people and as professionals to encourage young people to do on a daily basis. You know, and I think a lot of the time there's a lot that we can do ourselves that can help us in a day. And I think there's not enough training for personal advisors. There's not enough training, I don't think, for social workers in that sort of space.
And also social workers get a lot of flack, and to be fair, it all seems to go to them. It's like, oh, the social worker, they're doing one job with loads and loads of people. They've got the case files they've got to deal with, and again, if it was spread out and it was more of a holistic approach, then the pressure wouldn't all be on them like it always seems to be.
Absolutely. I was at an event last year, and a young person said, oh, my social worker should be available until 10, 11 o'clock at night. And that's not realistic, because that person, most social workers do burn out, so that's not realistic. So what we need to do is create an environment where we're not relying on that social worker. In fact, we've got networks around us.
Like if they finish at 6, you've got somebody that starts at 5 in a different profession, but they're still involved with the same thing.
Either that, or there's a lot of different services. You know, say for example, someone's passionate about art. Well, there's probably, I know in Salford, there's loads of places in our 42nd Street, for example, do amazing stuff with art therapy and everything else. So that can be their network, not social care. I think we become reliant a lot of the time on social care, and then people blame social care. I think we need to be looking at how we can expand networks outside of social care.
Definitely.
And that's where I've always relied on personally, you know, whether it's football, whether it's just having good people around me. Even now, going into like the NatWest community on the accelerator scheme, it's creating that around you that's going to be the buffer post-18, because we can't rely on the government, we can't rely on local authorities. It's got to be something that we addressing in and around that community.
Which is what keeps the hope going.
Yeah.
And like you say, oh, the system's not working, it's not working, but if the infrastructure's broken, it's about looking at it a different way.
Yeah.
And like you say, the arts, like with us, with the Power of Dog, we do photography, baking, cooking, coffee shops where people can hang out. It's a mixture of everything. And one shape doesn't fit all.
Absolutely, yeah, I completely agree, and all that you've described there is incredible. By the way, I think that gives people a chance to find what they're good at. It gives them confidence,
and something they might not have even thought of doing.
100%.
Like say, oh, do you want to try photography? It's like, well, if it was me at 16, I'm not trying that.
Yeah.
Crap.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Or
But then just seeing it, and it just sparks something.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm hugely passionate about that, and actually, I think sometimes when jobs come across your desk, it's like a part-time job in retail, and for some people that's fine. I worked in retail for a while, and it gave me so many skills and met so many decent people and stuff. But that said, it doesn't exactly, and you might find that someone's sense of purpose might be photography. It might be working with animals.
Well, also we've got the animals there. We've got the dog daycare, so they're around dogs. They're in the forest, the woods. It's a mixture of everything, and also it needs to interest young people, young adults. If they've got a passion for animals, that's the main passion that brings them to us. Yeah. But then you've got all the other facilities around them that it opens up to them that wouldn't necessarily be there.
100%. And you mentioned like the outdoor space. Yeah. Well, actually, there's so much research to say how good that is for you. And I think you think it's quite obvious, but it's I don't think it's obvious enough for people to.
And I think when we see young people, we see the change as they come into it. It's like it's grounding, it's spiritual, it's all of them things, and it just creates an atmosphere that it almost breaks the wall down, and especially with dogs, that's why we do the therapy with the dogs. It breaks that wall down, and with dogs they give unconditional love.
100%.
And they don't care if what you've done. They don't judge. They don't hold grudges. They don't have an ulterior motive. And that's the amazing thing about dogs, which I'm going to move on to now. Because in this episode we're talking about dogs and loss, which is a horrendous thing. As everyone knows, I lost my dog when he was 7, and it sent me off the rails, like literally off the rails, because that was my first love, my first loss, all of them things I'd never had in care. And at 42 I was at the time. That's bizarre to have them things and grieve them things at such a late age in your life. So tell me about your loss with your dog.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a tricky one really. So when I went into care, as we know, going into care anyway is traumatic, and the reasons why I did, ultimately my mum took her own life, my dad became alcohol dependent, and it was a very difficult few years. And then obviously we went into care, me and my 2 sisters. And that gave us a lot of stability, it gave us a lot of security, but what it also did, it meant that the dog that I was with, and that was the thing that I always relied on, it was like the best thing, when it was all chaotic, he was always there. That thing, that loving animal was just gone overnight, and that was difficult because he didn't die. There was no grief, it was hard to grieve.
You can't grieve,
So I didn't really know where he went. And that dog, it's hard to put into words really, and I know but from someone just listening or looking in, it's hard to put into words what that dog at that time means to someone when they're going through so much trauma, so much chaos. I mean, going through life, I experienced like 7 adverse child experiences. All the way through that dog Toby was there all the time. So when it was a problem, when there was fighting in the house, when it was just chaotic, that loving animal, Toby, was there all the time.
You just feel that protection.
Yeah, 100%.
And you're it's like a bond it's like a magic thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's unconditional love. There's no agenda from Toby. There was no like animosity. There was no there was nothing. It was just pure love, and it was both. So I loved him as much as he loved me. So then he was always there in my room all the time. And so when I went into care, one of the biggest things, to be fair, you might say, well, getting taken off your parent, or it wasn't. It was losing the dog, because
that's the one constant that you have, and that you could trust, and he trusted you. Yeah. Did he stay in the family home, or was he taken, or you just don't know what happened?
Yeah, it's a very tricky time. I think as part of a coping mechanism as well, my brain has deleted certain things.
Yeah, shut it off.
And that particular thing, I don't know if it's been deleted or whether I didn't ever know. I'm certainly not sure on where he went. And that's a really difficult, you know, in some ways, it probably would have been better if
with a death, it's almost like you put closure on it.
Yeah.
I mean, the closure of death, I mean, I didn't get my next dog until, well, a couple of months ago, and it's taken me 7 years to get a dog, which sounds mental, but, you know, when you've got that feeling of having it and then it's taken away, it's a grieving process, and that was hard enough for me, knowing what has happened to my dog, when, like you say, it's the not knowing. You can't put closure on something that has never, it's always stayed open.
Yeah, exactly. And even today, I know he will have died by now, but I go past the area sometimes, I think,
and
I wonder if I see him, or, you know,
that's
a stupid thing to think, you know, logically.
Just to me, it's not anyway.
Logically, it just doesn't make sense, but still, because I don't know the whereabouts, it's difficult, because would he have been looked at? I'd like to have thought that wherever he went, he would have been looked after, but I don't know, and that's a really difficult thing to accept, really.
Dougie, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been amazing.
Thank you.
Give us a hug. Lovely to see you.
Thank you, Leon.
And we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.
Have a guess what we do for a living?
Come take a look.
What are you carrying those for? We've finished the refurb. And will you put your tops on? We've got work to do.
Welcome to the Lodge Dog Daycare. Set in 3 acres of woodland, the Lodge Dog Daycare is a perfect setting for your dog to enjoy socialising without the supervision of their parents.
The Lodge is a fun modern-day daycare creche where your dog can enjoy a safe environment, where every dog who uses our facilities will have undergone a free behavioural assessment.
Our daycare facility is great for socialisation, mental stimulation and general well-being.
We've even got a cinema room for the dogs, because even dogs deserve a bit of luxury. Our opening hours are 7:30 a.m. till 6:30 p.m, Mondays to Thursdays.
So what are you waiting for?
Give your dog the life they deserve.
What did your dog do today?
Visit thepowerofdog.com. Drink. I'm going to have some. I'm not going to lie, I've just eaten my body weight in chocolate and...
Johnny.
You know when your mouth goes all dry and...
What's that chocolate you can shovel down your throat watching that?
So Dougie Stringer, Skills to Thrive. Like it says, it's not just to...
it's not just for care leavers, it's for young adults as well.
Yeah. The youth, the next generation, to... not just to survive,
but to thrive.
But to thrive. And it's just everything he does encompasses everything we're doing and everything we're going to go on to do. And the thing about not just the care system, but for me, especially the care system and for care leavers, it's not about competition.
No.
It's about collaborating.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it. It's like a community. And I've never actually felt, weirdly, never felt part of a specific community, yet by doing this, I've realised it's a massive community.
Yeah.
And I've never felt so...
Well, that's good, because when you was in care, they didn't really paid attention to, was he? It was
no.
It was very sparse.
Oh, honestly, I could...
Less.
Over the weeks up until Christmas, stories will come and go randomly. Because you forget, and even when you're talking about a specific time, whether it was in residential or with foster carers, there's always something else that pops into your head and you think, oh God, forgot about that.
So you was in care at 6 weeks old?
6 weeks old.
And up until you was 11 where you went into residential for a brief period?
Yeah.
How many times did they check on you?
The social worker, up until I was 11, I think it was every 3 months.
Every 3 months?
But looking back, it was after that I needed the help and support. And actually, I specifically remember telling one of the social workers, she was, sorry, my eyes gone really dry. She was my last social worker, and then because I had probably say 5. I think I had 5 social workers over the years.
And why do they change? Why do they change?
Like my first social worker, I think he was about 60 or 70 when I was 3. So obviously people retire and get old. So he was due to retire.
People like that.
So funnily enough, I remember him the most.
Yeah.
Nigel Wallace he was called. So if you're watching this, Nigel, big hi from me. And he was great. I remember him coming regularly. I remember him chatting. I remember actually that's when my foster carers decided they were going to adopt us, or they wanted to adopt us. And that whole narrative about my mum and her not wanting us, and you know, she didn't want you. If she did, she'd have come back for you. They had to send some papers off for my mum to sign.
Yeah.
I only know this now. I didn't back then.
I know this.
And I only know,
like, told me.
Literally in the last, 5 years, I've only found all this information out.
Yeah.
And to put that together with the story and the narrative that was told to you as a child, well, she didn't want you, but she's that selfish and twisted and messed up. She made sure no one else could have you either. She didn't want you to have a life. She wanted you to suffer.
I'll stop you there. His mum's were exact words to me when she told me about this. They're my kids and no one else is having them. They're mine.
And that's the same with my dad's family. You know, they said, we tried to adopt you, which they did. They weren't lying. They did try to adopt us. But she didn't, without going into too much detail, because there's a video coming up shortly called My Story. And I don't want to chop and change with it all, but they did try to adopt us, me and my siblings. And again, it was refused by my mum. She didn't,
of course,
want
she didn't.
any of them family members to have us. And that's all I'll say just now. We'll go into it.
But after you was, so up until you were 11, you had quite regular visits from your social
So I remember,
workers.
I do remember. And then my next social worker, she was lovely. She was there when I went into the children's home at 11. She was the one that told me I had a sister that I didn't know I had.
Right.
She traced her. And that's another thing. When you put everything together, it everything was there. It just was all mixed up.
Yeah.
You know, if I have this sister that I knew nothing about, like literally that was me being told for the first time, oh, I've found your mum. There's been contact, and you've got a little sister, and she was, I don't know, however old at the time. She said, and she's doing really well, and your mum's doing really well. And when I look back now, it's like, how could a mum who's done all these horrendous, and I mean horrendous things, horrific things, like things that give me nightmares, you know, to having another child who is not part of the care system. She's not, there's nothing with social services at all. How is that possible?
Well, it's not.
If you've abused a child, even just abused a child, never mind to the extent of what was done to us, because the things were still done, just the narrative was a complete...
Yes.
Yeah. It's shocking. Sorry, I'm going off course there. So, yeah, I found out I had a sister then. And I do remember thinking, well, why is she with my mum? And I'm not.
Yeah, of course.
Because even then, I hated, and hate's a strong word, but I hated being with them foster carers.
No.
And they were our mum and dad, because that's all we knew as a mum and dad. So how you wouldn't know any different, but I couldn't bear them. I couldn't stand being there. And when I was put into that residential at 11, I had an amazing time, and I didn't want to go back. And I kept saying, can I not stay? And they said, no, you can't stay. You're just here for a little break. And obviously now I know what that break was for. It was so certain siblings could be isolated, and I was in the way. I always felt like I was in the way, but never understood why. It was like I was an inconvenience, but obviously as things have unfolded over the years, I was an inconvenience, because you can't abuse girls if their sibling brother's around who might walk in or see something. So it gives you a free run to basically be in a house with a vulnerable child and vulnerable children, girls, all girls, while your foster mum is away doing a training course for 2 weeks, and he is left to his own devices in a house with nobody watching over him. Like, literally just left in a house. Like, it doesn't even bear thinking about.
And this is why I think social workers, you see, it was regular, but I had one at school. I had a best friend. He was in care. He was in foster care, and he was a bit of a, we'll say, a loose cannon, because he. I'm only smiling because on paper, like, because I remember when I was 14, and after everything that happened with the trafficking gang, they asked if I would like to consider going looking for some new foster carers. Well, first and foremost, I was like, why? I didn't know about Fred and Rose West at the time, but looking back, it was literally, that's like asking somebody who is aware of serial killers in this country, would you like us to put you forward for some new parents after you've just experienced life with them? It's that's how awful it was. That's how evil they were. And yet to be able to put on this persona and this front, it blags my head even now. How nobody could see it. How they couldn't see it. How is that even possible? But then it still happens today. People don't want to believe it, do they?
No.
People think that...
They're just on the surface. They went to church. We went to church. And it wasn't about a whole church thing. It's got nothing to do with that.
Yeah, but also foster carers, they're vetted as well. And if people lie, how are you to know that they're lying? Do you know what I mean? They get investigated and they get CRB checked.
I mean, then they didn't. You didn't have CRBs then.
They must have been checked somehow.
CRBs only came into law when, I only know this because I was doing children's, I ran like a drama school, and I used to go into the schools, the primary schools, and I'd do like a free workshop, and in return they would give out a flyer to take home to the parents to invite them to come for auditions. And there was no CRBs then. It only came into place when the Soham murders happened. Right. That's when they were introduced. Oh, okay. I don't know before that, but at the top of my head I can't think of any. And, you know, I became a foster carer myself. Yeah, of course. And they check your bank accounts, they check what money you've got coming in, they check your medical records, they check psychiatric assessments. It's so thorough. It's so thorough. But at the end of the day, if I was saying certain things to a child, just a psychological abuse, like just of course. Tell them they look stupid if they come down wearing something that you just want to degrade them, or, you know, that would still be so easy to do. Yeah. And if that child, they're already vulnerable, it's so easy. And it is so difficult to vet. And for me, I don't know why I wanted to become a foster carer. It wasn't to show that I'll show what a good foster carer does, a real foster carer, because I've noticed this, and I will say this, literally out of 2 million foster carers, I just happened to get the bad egg. You know, it took me a long time to even be able to hear stories about foster carers that are amazing and how many children they've helped. And because I was just, it was blackened for me. Like, even just the word foster carer, I immediately thought everything that they were. And that's not right. It's not fair. But obviously it tarnished me because it's had lifelong effect of what they did. Of course. And that's why it's important that we don't just sit here and say how awful the care system is.
It's not.
Because I will say there are so many good things, but at the same time, there is still far too much failure in the care system. And as I've always been with things, like with dogs, there's things I don't believe in the dog world, things that are wrong about breeding and breeding standards and all the rest of it. Who is anybody to say what a perfect dog is and what they look like?
And that's why we're starting the foundation, isn't it?
Yeah. If the infrastructure is broken or it doesn't work, then don't try and... It's constantly being tried to be fixed. You can't fix something that's so fractured, and still so many things that haven't been unearthed. You know, that children's home on one of the islands, I can't remember, Isle of Man, Isle of Wight, wherever, where, there was teeth or human fragments found, and then all of a sudden, it just disappeared. And, I've been in contact with some of them people that lived in them homes, and the documentary that's on TV, without becoming a conspiracy theorist, I know because I've been there. I know because of the sex trafficking that I was in, that there's MPs and there's actors and there's singers and there's, I could reel them all off, but I wouldn't, because that then takes away from what you're trying to do. With every will in the world, you can't go on a crusade and find every child sex trafficker and every paedophile in the world, or even in this country, hunt them all down, put them in prison, give them a death sentence, whatever you'd like to do to them. That doesn't stop it. Because for them, that last one that you've done away with, there's already another 10,000 twisted individuals who prey on vulnerable people, and nope. Good boy.
There is, but on the flip side of that, there's millions of good people in the world that just want to help people.
And that's what I mean. It's about focusing on the good. But for us to do that, I have to explain the bad.
Of course you do.
And what's happened, which I don't enjoy doing, but I think, like when you need academic certificates and qualifications to prove you do what you do and you are the person for the job, this is a life thing. Like for you with your domestic abuse, we haven't even gone into any of that. And, the whole purpose of this show is it's us two and a little boy here, the three of us, two become three, and we are both survivors of a list of things. But we can sit here and talk about it because you know what it's like to be emotionally abused, psychologically abused, which nobody can say one's worse than the other when people talk about physical abuse.
No,
because the scars do heal, but the body doesn't. It holds on to it.
But people's trauma
it's what relative to them.
It's relative.
Is what I say. Like people say, "Oh God, I thought I had a bad childhood. Yours is terrible compared to mine." It's not about comparing.
But you didn't answer my question. More importantly,
oh, what? Was that a good diversion, or did I just not listen?
Well, you probably didn't listen, but it was a good diversion.
Go on.
I said, how often were you checked? And you said regularly up until 11.
Right. So 11. when I was saying that, and you said and you said about your friends, and as soon as you said that, I thought in my head, to be from as far back as I can remember, which was 3. A lot of people don't believe that. They're like, you can't possibly remember. I can, and I could rhyme off every single thing that I remember. So I know it's not just, sometimes you have visions in your head that you think happened, but they didn't.
Yeah.
I know they did. Like getting a cake from a shop and what cake and what shop and all of them things.
I believe you.
But people find that impossible, that you can remember as far. I can remember all the way back to 3. I can remember lots of things, not just like one thing. Like, I remember falling out with a pram or that kind of thing. Because obviously, you probably would remember that.
Yeah.
So I was 3. So from 3 to 11, I was checked on regularly. In reality, I probably saw Nigel Wallace. Right, well, let's over 12 times, which I know I didn't, because now I'm thinking about it. It was probably every 6 months.
Yeah.
Oh, which would have been about 12 times. But I don't think it was that many. However many it was, he was old school, by the book, never missed an appointment. He was always there because it was always a big thing for obvious reasons. They were getting everything in order.
Yeah.
Do you know? But
then after 11.
Yeah, so I can, because people will say, when did you notice the change? Were they always like that? And I have to say, no, they weren't. But yes, they were underneath. But it wasn't, they weren't as awful as they were, especially him, from that far back. I never had any kind of bond with him.
You're talking about your
foster dad.
Carers.
Yeah. But I know I was never cuddled. I know I was never held. I know I was never like kissed on the side of the cheek. Like, you know, they're just natural things. And people say, "Oh, you don't know until you become a parent." I am a parent. I've got 3 biological children, and I've got 7 children that are still classed as children that were in my care. I fostered 12 children over 4 years. However long they were there for, you know, 2 of the girls were there with me for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. I still were part of their lives and then part of mine. They were quite gobby, actually. Just remembered. One of them was 10 and she said her phone had top-up had run out. And I was like, "Oh, we'll go to the shop. Well, come on, we'll go to the shop and we'll get you one." She was like, "You can go. I'll stay here." And I just remember like thinking, "Excuse me?" Do you know what I mean? But she was being deadly serious. So, yeah, needless to say, as a parent, I said, if you want the top up, we'll go to the shop. And if you don't, then that's fine. Which was a parental thing to do, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, like, I know kids, because they learn and they grow, and it's about mutual respect. And if you're not taught, or you're brought up in a world where you're told that, I don't know, you need permission to speak, you put your hand up for the toilet, and people might think, "Oh God, that's a bit old school, headmaster from the 20s.
That's not old school, that's
but it's
child,
not.
it's talking. It's child abuse.
I'm talking coming in from school on a Friday, and as soon as he came in from work, so I'd maybe get back about 3:30, 4 o'clock. He used to get back at between 6 and 6:30 every night, every single night. So I remember the build up to that and the anxiety, because as soon as he opened that front door, you said nothing. Like literally, you were that scared to say anything. And it's not like he constantly went, "Don't you speak." So that tells me the fear was already instilled for me to know,
yes,
you don't speak.
I was the same at home.
And it was silence, complete silence. And on a Friday, to be in silence and feel isolated, even just for 3 hours, if you were made to be, that is a long time. From Friday to Monday, when you go back to school, you've had no conversations. If you want to speak to your siblings, you whisper, like when it's safe to, because you know it has to be triple safe. You listen for certain noises on the doors, swishing past a carpet, or the creak of a stair, to know just all of them things that are put in place so you know you're not going to get caught. It just, even going over it now, it's mental. Like what the mind can go through and is exposed to. And let's remember, they were there as a what's the word? Not supplement. What's the word?
Replacement.
Yeah, but not just a replacement. Like as a caring figure, employed to care and love for that child, which wouldn't take employment to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
And it's crazy. It's mental. But then, having seen the way he was with his own son, is...
And we'll stop that right there, because that will be in your montage.
Yeah.
That's coming up soon.
It's coming up now, isn't it? No? Have I just cut it too short? I don't know what else to say.
Well, answer the question. answer the
Have I still
question.
not answered the question?
Well, yes.
So I would say I was
After
checked
11.
up. Oh, after 11.
After 11, you
So a
went
female
down.
social worker took over.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was one in between, but I can't remember. But I remember her because she come to visit me at the children's home. She was lovely. She told me about my sister. And I thought, how did she? Because I constantly asked for them to find my mum. And they said, she doesn't want you. Why? You can't look for her. She's nowhere to be seen or heard. And bearing in mind, I've never seen a picture of her at this point. I haven't even seen her, a photo of her, ever. I don't know what colour hair she's got. I don't know anything. So it's not just you're looking at a picture and trying to take you transcend to that time and make up this pretend story. It's literally you have nothing to go by. And actually, that's just made me laugh because I knew her name was Audrey and that's all I knew. That was it. And as a kid, when black and white films were on all weekend, and the funny thing is, I love some of them movies because if you've got nothing else to do and you're not allowed to speak and you're not allowed to colour in, even though you're giving them colouring books and pens for Christmas, and then you get told, what are you colouring in for? That's not going to get you anywhere in life, is it? You think you're just going to sit and colour all day? And it's like, you're saying that to a 6 or 7 year old child. Why is them colouring in causing you that?
Anxiety, because it's control.
Yeah. So yeah, we'd sit and watch that. Do you know what? South Pacific and what was the other one? But I loved all them. So like all the old school movies, I can remember some of them I loved. But my mum was called Audrey and it was Audrey Hepburn. I mean, let's face it, to tag that to that because that's the first Audrey's name I'd ever heard. And it just happened to be Audrey Hepburn. The glamour and it was the black and white film, Breakfast at Tiffany's and yeah. So to me, she was in Hollywood on them movies. That's what she did. And on a weekend, I used to stand in the hallway. The foster carers would always say, oh, just ignore him, he's seeking attention. And actually, I just wanted to turn around and say, no, I'm not. I'm actually busy. Thank you. You know, wood chip, that nasty wood chip.
Yes.
And we were in like an old Victorian, like it was massive. It had about 7 layers. And what are you doing?
I'm just checking the camera was still on.
Oh, because I'm just going on and on and on.
Aye, that's all in your montage.
Is it? Oh, right. So, very quickly to answer your question.
Pretty quick.
So yeah, that was her. She found my this sister that I'll be totally honest with you, I had no interest in because I'm being told I've got this little sister. However old they said she was, I can't remember at the time. And she's a lovely girl and this and that. Looking back and thinking about it, why is that appropriate to tell me while I'm in a children's home that I've got this amazing sister with a lovely life with her mum? But then that tells you that it wasn't apparent to anybody that I was miserable. And I remember saying constantly to the care staff, can I not just stay here? Because I loved it. I mean, I even went to the cinema. Like, got pocket money to go to the cinema and you went on a bus into town and went to the cinema and I went to see, it was a Madonna film. I think it was Who's That Girl, if I remember right. And I was like, and we used to do like dance routines and stuff for the staff in the children's home. It was amazing. So my experience of that children's home as an under 11s, because once you get to 12, I think it's going to the older.
Yeah.
So under 11s and then over 12s, I think it was at the time. I have to say that experience for me was one full of happy memories. And on saying that, yes, there were. I was going to say that's the first time I ran away, but I only ran away because this 15-year-old girl was put there as an emergency. And you'll know who you are. I'm not going to say your name, you little tinker, teaching me how to smoke. Teaching me how to smoke and getting me to run away with her. And she talked me into it. I didn't want to go. And I remember we ran away that night and it was pitch black and we were running through fields. And I'm talking, we were getting from Carlisle to Penrith. It's like, I think it's 17 miles. And she's telling me it won't take long. Well, I have no thing about time. I still don't. How far somewhere is. So I went with her. And we're trekking through the pitch black in the Dales, or the Lake District, the Pennine, wherever. And it's raining, the mud's like that, we're walking through fields, and she's telling me, oh, if a cow moves, it means, well, it wasn't if a cow moves, if a cow lies down, then you know.
Right. Go.
That is the beauty of
having your own production company.
To be able to get up and walk over and turn the camera back on because the other person is talking that much. There is a shut-off with this camera, but it has 2 warning shut-offs. So you've got the triple shut-off, the second shut-off, and the shut-off. So I do apologise in advance, but we're not editing this because it takes away the flow. So there might be a little glitch.
There might be.
Or there might not, but you'll definitely see Dean walking up to the camera, switching it back on and walking back again. And just even to have the freedom to do that and not have to conform is like TV magic land. It's brilliant. I love it.
So where did we get to? You went back to, you were there for about 4 months and then you went back to your carers.
Yeah. Then that social worker left.
That social worker, what, when you went back in with your carers?
Yes.
And then how often were you checked then?
From her leaving, so she came back to the house once. So let's say, for example, back then it was every 6 months.
Yeah.
Which it probably was with long-term foster care.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Having been there from 6 weeks old and everything's Yankee-dandy. And they'd had over, I think it was about 30 children before us. And I'll just mention they were all girls. All of them.
Yeah. So she left and...
She left.
And she came to see you once at the house.
Yeah. And then this new one started, a guy, and he came and met us. I'm your new social worker, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And, well, you know who you are. The thing is, don't ever promise a child, especially a child in care that literally holds on to everything you say, as most children do, to promise these little people that you're coming to take them and you're going to go for a burger to McDonald's. Like McDonald's, I didn't even know what it was then, to be honest. So it was like a takeaway thing. It was like diner. Do you know what I mean? It's like America. And where we lived, it was in the middle of nowhere. We were like literally in the middle of the district of the lakes, in the hills and beyond. So we didn't have things like that. Like, it didn't have a cinema, didn't have them kind of things. So for somebody to set you up with this, when I come back to see you next time, I'll just knock on the door, pick you up, and we'll go out. We'll go for a burger. And
when was the next time you came back?
Well, I'm 50 and I'm still waiting. He didn't.
No.
And during that time.
So in the most vulnerable years of any teenager, like from the age of 11.
Yeah.
Where
having just spent time in a residential for whatever reason.
It's any child from the age of 11 up until
going through puberty and
everything.
There was nobody there.
There was nobody there.
No. Bear in mind, sorry, I just want to add, when the female social worker left, when she came back to see me once, do you remember I was saying earlier, I specifically remember, and then I stopped talking, I showed her the bruises and not just the imprint, you could see the pattern of the buckle of a belt that was so big and I was so small, it covered that. It was literally like that with the mark. You could see it was a belt. You could even see the dots of the leather. And I pulled my pants down and I showed her that on my leg. And I said, he's done that to me because before she'd come, prior to her coming, the beating that time must have been so bad for me to actually tell her. It's gone on for years, for as long as I could remember, but to build up the courage to tell her. And Childline came out in the 80s.
Yeah.
And someone's mowing the lawn. I'm going off on a tangent again now. The Childline had opened, and I remember it coming on the news, and it said, you can phone this free phone number, you don't need any money, old telephone boxes. And I phoned it, and the only reason I'm saying this is because I remember phoning, and they were chatting away, and I thought, I'm going to report them, because someone will come and take me away, and I won't be there for the aftermath, if that makes sense. It's fear that stops you from doing anything or saying anything.
Yeah.
So for me to pull my pants down and show this social worker the marks that were left on my leg after that time, they were bad. Like, literally, the only reason I'm saying about the buckle is because I'll never forget the picture of it. It was just like a photocopy of a belt on my leg. But these were all down my leg. It was all like leather marks, like being whipped. And I'm a child in care. And
You're a child?
Yeah, a child. A child.
You're a child?
A child. And to this day, how do you cover that up? But it was always a case of I got to speak to her. Normally, there was always one of the foster carers in the room. Whereas now, having been a foster carer in this day and age, the child gets to speak to the social worker on their own, and rightly so, because that's their only opportunity to say something, if they've got anything to say. I'm not saying they would, because if you put fear in them, but it's still opening avenues for a young person to be able to vent. Do you know what I mean? And for me to then leave that room and for them to go back to the foster carer to continue their wrapping up or whatever. And I remember going out the room, and my guts were churning because I thought, oh my God.
Can you imagine?
But I was so convinced that because I'd showed her that was it, I was getting taken away. And then I got called back into the room to let me know, oh, she's leaving now, come and say bye. And I just remember being, like, speechless.
And
what message is that, other than...
How old were you then? Do you remember?
If I said it was before the first children's home or after, I'd be lying, because I don't remember, but I was at primary school.
Yeah.
So it was either 10 or younger, or 11 after I was in the residential.
Right.
And maybe thinking about it, it was probably after the residential, so I was still 11, but I'd gone back to them. And because I wanted to stay in that residential home, that in my head would tell me that that's the reason I showed her them.
Yeah. But yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, memories are muddled and and things.
But I do remember phoning Childline, and when that advert came on, I just remember sitting there, we were watching the news in silence, and it came on, and I was sitting there, and I was like, oh my God, like, this is it. I'm escaping. And that's all I could think about. And it was going to school the next day and walking to school, and I was like, oh, my stomach wasn't churning, it was full of excitement. Because there's this line that you call and you tell them what the people are doing to you, and they come and take you away. So I phoned, and what happens? Can you tell us your name? And I stuttered, and then we need to know where you live. And I understand, like, had I just carried on with that telephone conversation and told them where I lived, but you can't, because you freeze with fear. It's like when someone, you know yourself, suffering domestic abuse, it's all very well somebody saying, why didn't you say something? Why didn't you leave? Why did you let them do that to you?
Exactly.
You don't let people do anything to you. They do it to you.
Manipulate.
Violate you. It's a violation on whatever level.
You lose yourself. Strip you bare.
Yeah. So from her going, me showing her the batter marks, I then have this new social worker who has never returned to this day. And then my newest social worker is the one, she just knew. She knew. Sorry. Okay. I speak about her in my book, So I just want to say, Pam Dean, in case you never read the book, it's been out since 2009. I speak about you in there because, God, this is why it's so much easier when you can edit it, because you can cut it out. This is why we couldn't do this live. We've had to do it an hour before, because if anything like this happens, you can't continue with the show if you have a meltdown, can you? No. I just want to say thank you for believing me, and for actioning on it, and for listening to me. It's the first time you met me. I met you as my new social worker the day you drove 200 miles to come and collect me from escaping the child sex trafficking ring. Sorry.
I don't wanna be found out. I don't wanna leave this town, and I don't wanna be back where I started from, 'cause my roots won't keep me warm. They won't keep me warm. I only just realized now, it only just dawned on me that I've always been lonely, and I needed this to feel comfort and complete. I never thought we'd meet, but they said I was always gonna be that way until I saw you. I believed them every day, and then you came my way. You let me love, oh let me love you until we're old. Oh let me love, oh let me love you until we grow old. 'Cause my roots won't keep me warm. I guess I made it here somehow. I made it this far and I am proud. I've seen my whole world just change, nothing stays the same, and I for one am glad. Never knew I wanted you so bad, but they said I was always gonna be that way until I saw you. I believed them every day. And then you came my way. Oh, let me love, oh, let me love you until we're old. Oh, let me love, oh, let me love you until we grow old. 'Cause my roots won't keep me warm. And they said I was always gonna be that way until I saw you. I believed them every day, and then you came my way. Oh, let me love, oh, let me love you until we're old. Oh, let me love, oh, let me love you. 'Cause my roots won't keep me warm. My roots won't keep me warm. Oh, my roots won't keep me warm. My roots won't keep me warm.
You get a fast car, I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove. You got a fast car. I got a plan to get us out of here. Been working at the convenience store. Managed to save just a little bit of money. Won't have to drive too far. Just cross the border and into the city. You and I can both get jobs and finally see what it means to be living. See, my old man's got a problem. He live with a bottle, that's the way it is. He says his body's too old for working. His body's too young to look like his. My mama went off and left him. She wanted more from life than he could give. I said somebody's got to take care of him. So I quit school and that's what I did. You got a fast car. Is it fast enough so we can fly away? We gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way. So I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. We go cruise and entertain ourselves. Still ain't got a job. Now work in the market as a checkout girl. I know things will get better. You'll find work and I'll get promoted. We'll move out of the shelter, buy a bigger house and live in the suburbs. So I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. I got a job that pays all our bills. Instead of drinking late at the bar, see more your friends than you do your kids. I'd always hope for better. Thought maybe together you and me find it. I got no plans, I ain't going nowhere. So take your fast car and keep on driving. So I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. Is it fast enough so you can fly away? You gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way.
Feels like fire. I'm so in love with you. Dreams are like angels. They keep at bay. Love is the light, scaring darkness away. Yeah. I'm so in love with you, purge the soul. Make love your goal. The power of love, a force from above, cleaning my soul.
No, Tronny, have you come to give Daddy cuddles?
There's a bit of a harsh cut there, wasn't there?
It was me that cut it there. No explanation needed, I don't think. At the end of the day, I'm still human. And although we go around and do inspiration talks and chat about being survivors of all kinds of abuse, it still gets you, and it's hard. I've never had to do this. Well, I don't have to do it. I want to do it, but I've never done this. This is the first time I've done this. Bearing all, it's different when you're in a radio interview or a TV interview. You go into little bits about your life and give a little snippet, but it never goes into detail. And once again, I just want to say thank you, Pam Deans. And actually, if there's anybody out there that's watching this that would know of Pam Deans, she was from Birmingham and she was a social worker for Cumbria Social Services. And then she went on to be the manager of the care home that I was in as an 11-year-old. And she continued to come and see me even after 18. I left the care home at 16. Her duty as such is up at 18, but it went further than that. Like I say, from the day she picked me up from that horrible dark night in Newcastle in torrential rain, it was just an instant connection, and
a true light worker.
And she just listened to what I said, and she was so switched on. She really, really was.
Speaking of switched on, we've got before we get too far into this, we've got another little surprise for people, haven't we?
What's that?
We've got some
I feel like I've been put on the spot.
We've got some doggy gadgets, haven't we?
Oh yes. Oh, Tronny! This is where you go into the next studio with Rachella. Yes, you do. He's going to go and see his best friend Bella, his little girlfriend. You're going to go and see Bella and Rachel. So Rachel and Bella are Rachella or Rachel.
Rachella.
She keeps saying that we've done the name wrong, but in my opinion,
well, that's because
how?
That's because I typed it wrong when I did her intro, but
R-A-C-H for Rachel, A-L, and then Bella for Bella, Ella.
But she wanted it.
Rachella. There's no A, is there? Oh,
she made me put one in.
Oh, so it's Rachella. So, without further ado, Rachella is going to be here every week with her two favourite gadgets of the week.
Yep.
Somebody has to do it.
Which she's got loads of, by the way.
Oh my, she has literally got a house full of them. Talk about hoarding. No. Right, we're going to go and take you. I'll pop him next door with Rachel. Come on.
Right. Hi, Rachel.
From me and Bella. How you doing? I really loved your show. Honestly, oh my god. Sorry to drop the mood so quickly. Dougie Stringer, eh? Oh, God love him. My poor little sweetheart. I mean, what he's gone through and what he's achieved is just amazing. So, sending big love to you right now. Bella, I'm having a sentimental moment right now and you've just jumped off my lap. Come back here, you naughty little thing. I want to introduce you. So this is Bella, my little toy Maltipoo. She's 15 months old and I've had her since she was 2 months old. And she's my sweetheart. And I'm sure you all know out there, my gorgeous little fluff balls, how important you are to be loved and cared for. So for me today, I'm going to be covering a couple of doggy gadgets. Okay, my gorgeous little furballs. So the first thing that I'm going to review is peanut butter. All right, so you've got a jar of peanut butter. Make sure that it's not full of nasties, that it's high in protein, and it's got all the healthy nutrients, so make sure you check on the back. And then it comes with a handy little spatula and a lick mat, okay? It does have suckers on the back as well, so that it can be stuck to like the freezer, or the floor, wherever you might need it. So I always wash it first, because obviously these are made in factories and there's loads of dust and nasty chemicals. So wash in warm soapy water, give it a thorough rinse, and then you can let it dry naturally. I've put it in a little box, which is actually a tidy, because I don't want it stuck in there, because I've found that it can get they're quite strong suckers. So this way I can still wash it, but I'm not like fighting with it to get it up off the floor. So open the old peanut butter, get the spatula in, like so. It's actually quite hard to scoop it all up right, so you might have to have a few scoops. And as you'll see from the lick mat, there's lots of different patterns on there, which gives different sensations for the dog. So try and spread it round, so I do it round all 3 parts here. And don't be shy with it, you know, get in there. There we go, look, nice big splodge of it. And, because this will last ages. Well, it does with my little Bella Boo. And then, so you put the lid on, out of the way. And then, there you go, voila. You just need the dog with you to be able to lick it off. Bella! Where are you? Come and get your peanut butter. Come on. Good girl. Hop, hop. And there we have her. Oh, hi Tron. We've got a little visitor today as well. We've got Tron staying with us. And as you can see, Bella's licking the peanut butter. And this is really good because, as Uncle Leon and Uncle Dean will tell you, it helps them with reduce their anxiety. And I love using this, so if ever I'm popping out, then you can put the peanut butter on the lick mat or other goodies that they might enjoy, and this will keep them entertained for, well, it depends how interested your dog is, but I think it's fantastic and I would give it a 5 out of 5. Hey Dion, so guess what I've got for my gadget number 2. It's this doggy pet grooming kit, and I love it because it's got this amazing handle. It's really easy to move about. It's quite lightweight. It comes on this pipe. It comes with other attachments, but I'd say this is the main one. All right, and here you've got a green button that you press in and you'll hear it click. There's like 3 settings, and if you have it at the top, it cuts the hair the shortest. But I'm going to have it today to show you on Bella, so it cuts the least hair off. The white attachment, just remove like so, but that's if you want to give your gorgeous little fluff ball a grade 1, for example, so we don't want that with Bella. So you just slide that on until you feel the click and it's in securely. And then what happens is you've got a on-off button here, funnily enough. So, because I'm going to be doing parts of Bella from her head throughout to her body, I'm going to remove her collie for safety reasons, okay, so that it doesn't get caught. I'll just put it on Leon's Fix Your Dog book, which is an amazing read, by the way. I highly recommend it. So there we go, turn it on, and then just very slightly work your way down, and then what will gradually happen is you'll see the hair go into the hoover. Can you see it flying about? And this is really good for getting the knots out. It's good for clumps of hair, although you should be brushing your dog to make sure, like daily, to make sure that your dog doesn't have any nasty knots. also, I found that it's really good, especially in this hot weather. So I've been trimming Bella quite a bit because I don't want my dog to get overheated. So can you see how the fluff is gathering? Which is fantastic. And Bella's nice and calm, you know, I'm giving her a stroke. I'm following the clippers down as I'm doing it so that she can feel as nice and relaxed as possible. And what I love about this as well is that it evens the fur out as you're going round there. And look, I'm wearing my brand new black jeans, so this was a good idea, wasn't it? But with her being white as well, it's going to demonstrate how great it is that it doesn't actually, there's no fur everywhere, so you haven't got to worry about getting the hoover out afterwards. Can you see the difference? And look at my trousers, see? And also, what I love about this product, right, you press the green button, lift it up and off, and look how much, just in that short period of time, of fur that's come off her. And then you can just flip that underneath and it goes straight in the bin. So there you go, goes back on. Fan-dabby-dozy. So guys, that is my second gadget of the week, and what I would love to hear back about is if you've experienced the same product, or let me know your thoughts if you've used this product as well. Send me videos and pictures, let me know how you get on at info@thepowerofdog.com, and remember to put in the subject bar, Fairy Dog Mother.
Why is that bloody on a pair of graders?
I can't. The thing is, you can hear us just literally, there's a wall between us, but she'll be that terrified to come on because we'll say, "You just walked on set!"
Oh my God.
So I hope you enjoyed that. Poor Tronny getting chucked through there with that chaos and madness. He's scratching, I can hear him scratching to get back in.
God.
That brings us to the end of the show.
Yeah.
How quick did that go?
No.
Like really quickly, to the point where we've actually had to not put some things in because we've run out of time, overtime. I told you once you got going, you'd just speak too much and you'd do it all. So I've got this in front of me because I'm not gonna, we haven't got auto cue or anything, it's just off the cuff, and now I've lost where I was gonna say. I want to give a personal message to Sabrina Hewitt, who I just connected with today on LinkedIn, literally this afternoon. And I put a little message on there, Sabrina, to say, I was going to say hi, and just commend you for the amazing work you do. She is an exploitation and county lines educator. She's got a book. It's on the Amazon top 10, which is brilliant. So congratulations for that. She's a keynote speaker, trainer, consultant, dual perspective specialist, author, expert witness for the defence. The amazing thing about her is she was child sex trafficked like myself. But through that, again, like, she's a survivor, and to survive is already above and beyond what anyone expects you to, especially the abusers. You're not ever going to speak about it.
It's not just about surviving, though, is it? It's thrive.
Thrive, yeah.
Thrive.
And
Just
like Dougie says,
just like you.
It's not about just survive, it's
No, it's
thrive.
thriving.
And
It's
she
thrive.
has thrived. She has gone on to do, let me just get this right because I'm useless with qualifications, because obviously I did my primary school years and that was it. Still managed to write 2 books, but she went on, I've lost it, I'm so sorry, Sabrina, I did have all this down. She went on to do a Master of Arts in Criminal Justice and Corrections at St Mary's University. And she's lived the experience, but she's also got the qualifications to back it up. And she is just absolutely smashing it.
Incredible.
She's an exploitation and county lines educator. She has gone to the heart of it. She's got the qualifications to, you know, it's very easy to turn someone away and say, well, that's awful what you went through, but are you qualified to do the job you're doing? She is living proof, along many others, and again, including Dougie. You know, he was in the care system. He had a horrendous time getting taken away, his family splitting up, not knowing what happened to his dog, and then went on to be a social worker and then used them skills to do the job that he does to help and support as many of today's youth and tomorrow's youth to create a better future. And that's what it's all about. You know, yes, there's faults in the care system, and there's always going to be things that go unnoticed, or people making mistakes, or people covering things up. That has gone on since the beginning of time.
But there's always going to be people that's going to help as well.
Yeah.
And it's finding those people.
But let me tell you this much, us people, survivors, we keep going. Like, literally, whatever's thrown at you, your flame gets bigger. And unfortunately for anyone that crosses our path that's on the wrong path, there's two of us here, and all I can say is when we connected with that hot coffee liquid poured all over you, that energy that locked in there and has created this, we haven't even got started yet, and that's what's exciting about it.
And while we're on thank yous, I think we should say thank you to Jane Vallender.
Yes, Jane Vallender. All we said was, well, I said, when you were dropping your dog off for daycare that day, I looked at you and I said, blah, 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 probably an hour's speech. And I said, we're doing something called the power of dog. And then literally,
He exploded.
by the afternoon, she sent us this email that she'd CC'd us in with the head of learning at BSN Socialcare. Huge company, but not just a huge company, an important company. They have an umbrella of foster care agencies, Blue Sky Fostering, Nexus, who I've been doing some online webinars with, helping professionals and foster carers and children in their care.
It's a big shout out to Ed as well.
A big shout out to Ed Thompson Hill. He has opened so many doors for us, and this wouldn't be possible without them people that we've mentioned. And there's other people too who we will continue to mention. And I just want to say at this point very quickly, if you want to get in touch with us, please do. It can be to do with anything, literally anything. You know, we're going to be covering suicide, domestic abuse, rape, just anything that you've gone through, any trauma that you've suffered as a child or as an adult. We want to hear from you. This show is made from your stories. Yes, today has predominantly been about my story, but that was the root of how this all started and how the idea came into my head at 9 years old. Now, that root has blossomed into a tree, which is this, and it just will continue to grow, and forest after forest after forest. And we want to hear from you, and we want to share your stories. As you can see from this show, it's not about exploitation, it's not about voyeurism, it's not about getting the saddest story possible to get viewers or anything like that. Whether we have one viewer or 10 or 10,000, it really doesn't matter, because as long as we've got one person that this is helping, and pass it on, share it, not because we want as many shares as possible, it's to reach as many people as possible, because you don't know what anyone's going through, and you don't know. It's an old saying, and I hate old sayings, but you do not know what's going on behind closed doors.
No, you don't.
Do you?
No.
Ever. You don't. Even the most perfect of situations and scenarios and pictures that people portray, as you know, on Facebook, all of social media, it's not, if people are so happy and they're telling you how amazing their lives are, why are they sitting on Facebook writing about it as they're having this amazing time?
And requiring external validation.
Yeah, you don't need external validation from anybody. And the Leontowers Careleavers Foundation, it's not just a work or a project, it's a legacy. It's my legacy. Which is why it's my name that's in it. And I just want to say, as a final thought, without getting emotional, I'll try. I just want you to know, every single person out there who has gone through any trauma, or they're going through trauma, or just a hard time, or they feel lonely, or they're on their own, my promise to every single one of you is, you are not forgotten, you are not broken, and you are worthy of love. Every single living being on this planet we are all worthy of love. And kindness, it has no price. It costs nothing to be kind. It can be said in a word. It doesn't need to be material things. And in fact, I would say it shouldn't be a material thing.
Never.
You know, it's a hug. It's a how are you? It's a
kind word to someone.
Kind word. It costs you nothing. And do you know, a good practice to have is to each day. Sometimes I forget, but I'd like to think I'm a kind person anyway that says kind things on a daily basis. We love chatting to our clients and stuff, and it's a bit of banter, isn't it? So on a daily basis, just try and make it your practice that your mission that day, every day, is just to be kind to someone. Like, oh, you look really lovely today. Have you had your hair done? Just, not false or fake, just...
Make someone smile.
Yeah, because it's actually really easy to do, to make someone smile. And see, when they don't, God help you, because we are pros at this and we make it our mission. And see, we would go for the most hardest, twisted face of the day. And when we come across them people, which isn't that often, to be honest, not in the circle we're in,
no.
Because, you know...
But we just make them laugh.
Yeah, or even smile. Like, when somebody who's stone-faced, as I call them, has that, even just that curl, that little whatever, there's a bit of movement.
Got you.
It's like, got you.
And on that note, we're going to leave it there, I think.
Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you
next week,
9 o'clock next Friday on our YouTube channel at The Power of Dog TV. If you didn't watch this as it happened, the great thing about this is it's there forever. So you can binge watch it even if you don't come across us for the next year, which I would like to think is probably nigh on impossible, because we are going to be like a rash spreading everywhere.
We best not refer to ourselves as diseases.
I said a rash, I didn't say disease.
Oh.
You're referring to rashes as diseases.
There was a disease I was thinking of.
Anyway,
if you'd like to get in touch, please send us an email on info@thepowerofdog.com.
Oh yeah, I said about getting in touch and then I went off on a tangent.
Come on, come on, come on. I'm waiting. Get into the groove, boy, you got to prove your love to me. Yeah. Get up on your feet, yeah, step to the beat, boy, what will it be? Music can be such a revelation. Dancing around, you feel the sweet sensation.
Keep the vampires from
Feels like